Well, looking at Maruti's Q1 performance, the big headline that comes to mind is the fact that they've delivered a loss for the first time since the company got listed on the bourses. That's a big dent. But let's not forget the fact that it's been an unprecedented quarter for the entire Motown, the entire India Inc. as well. Of course, Motown being one of the biggest casualties. So yes, Maruti reported a loss for the first time. The figure came in at 249.4 crores. It was definitely a better performance regardless because our poll was expecting the loss figure close to 350 crore rupees, and they have delivered 249.4. So better than expected bottom line performance. But yes, definitely a loss is something that would make the big headline as of now. The EBITDA loss came in way higher than what we had estimated. It came in at 863.4 crores. Our poll was indicating to a figure of close to 370 crores. So almost actually more than double the amount of EBITDA loss that they've delivered versus what we were expecting. On the analyst call, well, the management did speak about a host of things. They said that the company was actively providing cash flow to their vendors, to their suppliers as well during the quarter. The focus on the quarter was mostly on clearing out the old stock at dealerships and maximizing their retail sales in that process. Like its peers, even Maruti has flagged off the supply chain and production ramp up being the big challenge and a big concern at this juncture. Do remember 2 days ago, even Escorts did say the same thing, and Maruti is echoing a similar sentiment. Different states are still witnessing lockdowns on and off, so there is some bottlenecks as far as supply chain is concerned for some of their vendors, and that is something that's sort of hampering their production ramp up plans as well. Though at the same time, talking about the demand, the commentary has been encouraging. They said it's too early to give out any demand trends or predict what will happen going forward, but yes, in the regions that are functional right now, where their dealerships are all open, they are witnessing an 85 to 90% of pre-COVID times demand scenario, which is quite heartening to hear at this juncture. Supply is not only a concern when it comes to production, but supply is even a concern for pre-owned cars. They said that even Maruti True Value, which is their pre-owned car segment, is witnessing strong demand, especially from the first-time buyers, because now the thrust and the demand for personal mobility has gone up in the post-COVID era. But they're saying that supply is an issue there as well, because do remember that people are not ready to do any kind of replacement buying at this juncture. They're holding on to their older vehicle, their older cars, postponing the purchase of new cars, which is also creating a supply-demand mismatch in the pre-owned car market as well. But the demand definitely is there. With the higher level of inquiries coming in for smaller cars, this is something they said in the previous quarter as well, the early trends while they were charting out. Even now, the smaller cars seem to be the hot favorite, given that the big buyer right now is the first time buyer. Earlier, if you look at it, in the last many quarters, UVs have been the top favorite, the hot favorite for buyers. But now it's the smaller, the entry level segment, which is witnessing a much higher traction. Earlier, say if the inquiries were at 50-55%, right now they've jumped up to 65% of the entire inquiry data that Maruti has garnered. Maruti continues to work on reducing their costs both at a fixed level and the variable cost component. They have renewed focus on augmenting their exports. To remember, up until now, Maruti has not been a huge net exporter, but going forward, this is going to be an area they will be focusing on in line with the government's initiative, government's push as well to augment exports, to make in India and sell abroad. They're also looking to increase localization. In fact, of course, that is something that they've been doing, and a significant chunk of their suppliers, their parts, everything is locally sourced, and they look to augment it further as well going forward. So these are some key takeaways coming in as far as Maruti's analyst call is concerned.